returns CBS Fall. Catch up now on Paramount Plus.
I can't wait to see you when Big Brother returns July 17th on CBS.
Warning, what you are about to see could scar you for life.
Ew.
PDA, parental display of affection.
Ew. Whoa.
Last man standing.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Blakely. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, moving forward and repairing relationships. The steps the Delta County Board and Delta Conservation District are taking to clear the air between the two. Plus, the Lower Michigan County Clerk is doubling down on her claims that certain voting machines can't be trusted. How the Secretary of State's office is working to ensure accuracy for Michigan's elections. And blasting bedrock. We talked to a Marquette city engineer about what's going on in a Marquette neighborhood. Your 19 News starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Look at the forecast here for Marquette for the remainder of tonight. There's a chance of a few showers around, and temperatures will be dropping into the lower 60s. Most other areas, upper 50s or lower 60s. Not as cool as the past couple of nights. Well into the 70s, maybe even near 80 in a few spots for tomorrow. We're back into the lower 50s for tomorrow night. Making a few early showers, perhaps an afternoon storm for tomorrow. Afternoon highs reaching the mid-70s.
Thanks, Tom. New at 11, after months of back and forth on a series of issues and an election, officials on the Delta County Board of Commissioners and the Delta Conservation District say it's time to move forward and mend fences. Our Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons has the details.
In April, the former county board voted to send a complaint to the state against Conservation District Board Chair Joe Kaplan, with then Commissioner Bob Barron accusing him of discriminating against the county by inquiring about its enrollment in the Michigan Agriculture Environmental Assurance Program. At its first meeting since the election of 3 new commissioners, the county board voted to withdraw that complaint.
As important it is to resolve the issue, it's really nice that the new county commission voted to release the forest management plans, because without the county's willingness to share those plans over their public lands, I was really at a disadvantage of how to address the issue.
As of January, the Conservation District no longer oversees county parks, but new county commissioner and district liaison Matt Jensen says while each entity has its own goals, it's important for them to maintain a strong relationship.
It's still a good partnership because there's still going to be stuff that's going to happen within the district that county parks are going to also have to still reach out and do stuff with them based off of how the parks are structured.
Jensen and Kaplan both say a main priority now is rebuilding trust between the county and the Conservation District.
It's been a really narrow spectrum of people making decisions, and it's time to just open that up and fulfill our goals of bringing accountability and transparency to local governance.
There's wonderful ideas that are passing back and forth, I think, between both groups now. Some of the contentiousness that you had seen earlier, I think, is starting to wane, and I think we have a good basis moving forward already.
Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News, Escanaba.
The Conservation District still faces a lawsuit from former district manager Rory Matson over payments he says were approved by the previous board. The board went into a closed session tonight to review information from its attorney but did not take any action. Meanwhile, 2 Marquette school board members are facing a recall petition after the county's election commission approved its language today. This is the second one filed by Margaret Brum after the first failed to get approval. Brum, who is currently running for the 109th State House District seat, decided to take this action after Marquette Area Public Schools voted to change the nickname from Redmond. She says because of it, or the board said because of its racial implications. Brum now has to get almost 3,700 signatures for each board member by August 2nd in order for it to appear on the ballot in November. However, there are already a few openings on the board to be filled, and the Marquette County Clerk says she's only received 1 application to appear on the ballot.
November ballot is a school elections for board members. So currently I have 3 open positions for the Marquette School District as well. So that's a lot of openings and a lot of fillings to happen.
Sufficient clarity.
After today's hearing, Brum was facing a recall petition as well regarding her role as the vice chair on the Marquette County Board of Light and Power. However, the language in that petition was denied by the election committee. A township clerk in Barry County downstate, who's part of a lawsuit trying to decertify Michigan's 2020 election results, is doubling down on unproven claims about Dominion voting machines. State investigators have scrutinized Irving Township clerk Sharon Olson for handing over one of her voting tabulators to a group accused of conspiring to unlawfully seize voting machines. Mike Krafich has the report.
These will be sealed with a recorded numbered seal until the end of election night.
Onlookers and voters began appearing at the Irving Township Hall today.
There's been a lot of questions in recent years, in recent elections, so the best way to do that is come and look.
Is every mail-in compared with a computer?
They're taking a closer look at Township Clerk Sharon Olson and her public accuracy test mandated by law before elections. Says her Dominion voting tabulator scored perfectly today.
I've never had anything other than 100% on this accuracy test.
Despite that, the township clerk has touted unproven claims about Dominion machines, including at last night's Barry County Board meeting.
But it's not impossible to find for anybody who actually wants to look.
Olson's lawsuit has called for the decertification of Michigan's 2020 election results, with unproven allegations tied to voting machine irregularities.
The Barry County voters, the Irving Township voters, should they have any concerns about how the election will be run, the accuracy?
I think the message is that anywhere these machines are used, we have a concern, and there's a reason for that.
A special prosecutor is now deciding whether to bring charges against Barry County Sheriff Dar Leaf, AG candidate Matt DePerno, and 7 other backers of President Trump, who are all accused of conspiring to illegally access voting equipment. Despite a 1.5-year-long investigation, Sheriff Leaf says he has no plans to slow down.
So we've had whistleblowers come up who were actually working in Venezuela. One of the things they did in Venezuela, excuse me.
State police say one of the 5 tabulators seized came from Irving Township in early 2021.
Do you regret handing that over to his investigators?
I'm not going to comment on the investigation.
Barry County Prosecutor Julie Knackford Pratt says enough is enough. Republican prosecutor says she's denied 3 warrants for charges filed by Dar Leaf due to lack of evidence.
There is no evidence of wide voter fraud in this county. There just isn't that I can see. And it's been a 1.5 years. If there is, prove it.
The Michigan Secretary of State's office now requires Olson and several other Michigan clerks to report each month if their voting machines are safeguarded. An agency spokesperson says Olson is complying, but that if she doesn't, she could be stripped of her powers to run elections. Work continues on the state's 2025 fiscal year budget. Senate and House committees are working to agree on budget targets for the bills that will make up the final draft. UP legislators say the days of work are getting longer, negotiating how to break up program funding for education, economic development, roads, and ways to lower individual costs. The representatives say there's a lot of back and forth trying to find a compromise, and they think they'll be working down to the wire.
The funding mechanisms that we've been relying on through COVID and post-COVID, they're starting to dry up, and reality is starting to come home that we can't have everything.
There's a lot of hard decisions, but we want them to be smart decisions that make sure that I'm going to be making sure the money comes back to the UP that we're owed.
The legislature's goal is to have the bills done by the end of June. Meantime, a bill passed in Michigan's House of Representatives would allow individuals of all ages with special needs to participate in the Mentored Youth Hunting Program. The program lets kids under 10 hunt and fish under the supervision of another licensed hunter. The bill would expand that program to include people with special needs and remove the 2-year cap so they could continue to hunt with supervision. The bill included an amendment from State Representative Dave Preston that would waive license fees for people with developmental disabilities.
And when I look at those mentored youth hunts with my own daughter, those are memories that go on. And for these parents that have special needs kids that still are able to get out in the woods and are able to take part in these sports, it's a big thing.
The bill will now have to make its way through the Senate before it could get to the governor's desk. U.S. House Republicans are pressing forward with their plan to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress for refusing to hand over audio recordings of President Biden's interview with a special prosecutor related to his handling of classified documents. Garland argues the Justice Department has gone to extraordinary lengths to provide information to lawmakers. Skylar Henry has the latest from Capitol Hill.
On this vote, the yeas are 216, the nays are 207. The resolution is adopted.
The House has voted to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress, making him the third AG in U.S. history to face the charge. The House GOP wants the audio recordings from President Biden's interviews with Special Counsel Robert Hur about his handling of classified documents when he left the vice presidency. The White House released a transcript of those conversations, but Biden asserted executive privilege to block House committees from obtaining the audio, saying Republicans only wanted the files for political purposes.
We know we're entitled to all the evidence, and that includes the best evidence, which is this audio tape.
The House vote will now go to the Justice Department as a referral. The Senate doesn't have to approve a resolution, and the DOJ will weigh whether to pursue a case.
We have to defend the Constitution. We have to defend the authority of Congress. We can't allow the Department of Justice, an executive branch agency, to hide information from Congress.
Democrats are accusing Republicans of only looking to make former President Donald Trump happy.
This is all just an effort to satisfy the former president who has asked them to do something, to do anything, to distract from his own legal issues.
Special Counsel Hur, a Republican U.S. attorney appointed by Trump, laid out a report in February describing his interviews with Biden as a, quote, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. But Hur determined that no criminal charges were warranted for Biden's handling of those documents.
If the Justice Department decides to take up the contempt resolution and pursue a case, then Garland could face a fine of up to $100,000 and even imprisonment. Your first warning weather forecast is coming up after this break. Plus, leave no trace, the special workshop in Marquette County today, teaching hikers how to be good stewards of the trails. And testing out solar-powered cars. The Western Michigan University students who are taking their work to a national competition. We're back in just 2 minutes.
Sophia Murphy reports at 6 and 11 on WZMQ 19 News.
She's fair.
Untrue, Your Honor.
What, you're going to have your turn.
She's inquisitive.
What in the world led to this young lady finding you in this compromising situation?
She's very frank.
You should never start anything you're not prepared to finish.
Compassionate.
I see a family that still loves each other, and I'm glad to see it.
And firm.
The only thing that matters in this particular courtroom, sir, is how I see it.
Watch Equal Justice with Judge Ebony K. Williams.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS. 19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
John's Auto is still your #1 source for a pre-owned vehicle. Our standards are still the highest. We have the cleanest hand-picked inventory around. That's what we're known for. John's has built a legacy over the years, if you will, and for us to be able to jump into the service industry, the detailing industry, we provide quality service, timely, reliable, trustworthy, just like John's has for years in car sales.
Come on down to John's Auto and see what we're all about. Sales, service, and detailing.
Tonight,
I am doing hard work. I'm standing, I'm complaining, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
New tonight on CBS.
Then back to this.
June is custom month at Richardson Jewelers, downtown Marquette. Whether we are starting from scratch or creating a new piece from old or inherited jewelry, we will help you create your very own one-of-a-kind perfect design. And in June, we will waive the $395 design fee. You imagine it, we will create it. Custom month at Richardson Jewelers, downtown Marquette.
Richardson Jewelers.
Home for CBS is WZMQ 19.
Now, award-winning WZMQ 19 First Warning Weather with Air Stasic.
How the headlines are looking here as we head into the weekend. Well, we're looking at maybe a storm or two on Thursday. Most of Thursday appears to be on the dry side, maybe a few early showers, and again, maybe some storms in the afternoon. Nicer day for Friday, albeit things will be on the cooler side overall. And as we've been saying, and we're still going to say, it looks like a mixed bag for the Father's Day weekend. Saturday still looking like the better day, while we get a little bit more unsettled as we head on toward Sunday. So here's Futurecast here, and clouds moving out for tonight. A couple of showers still could pass through, so we'll keep the threat in for tonight. Maybe early tomorrow morning, 7, 8 o'clock. A couple could skirt, particularly the northern Lake Superior shores. And then look at this little small but intense little wave that goes on by here. I'm not expecting severe here, but if this really pans out, and always dubious of these smaller, quick-moving systems, especially with placement. But don't be surprised if mid-afternoon, up around 4 o'clock, you get a quick-hitting, perhaps a quick-hitting thunderstorm, maybe some brief heavy downpours with this as it moves on by. But it should be out quickly during the evening. Other showers move through on the backside. It's low pressure for Thursday night. Then into Friday, notice the clouds kind of hanging around, at least in the morning. A cooler northerly wind overall, but the sunshine will be coming out later in the day Friday, and will lead to a decent day and a cool one for Friday night. So the lows for tonight dropping into the lower 60s, maybe a few 50s in some of the interior sections out toward Eagle Harbor, where they may get a little rain, mid-50s up there, and near 60 there for tomorrow with the wind off the cold waters. Low 70s for Marquette, and near 80 for areas out toward Iron Mountain, Iron River. You could get close to that as well. So as for the winds, as we head on into Thursday, kind of variable overall, maybe even a little bit more out of the north as we head on through the day, 10 to 20, maybe a few higher gusts with that quick hitting storm during the afternoon. Be ready for that. In the meantime, the forecast for tomorrow, we'll put in a few drops here, but I'm not real bullish on that for the 8 o'clock hour at Marquette. Rest of the day, mostly dry, maybe a few storms. Again, watch that quick hitting one for the afternoon. Temperatures, though, should get well into the mid-70s and about 66 by 8 o'clock. The rest of the 70 outlook as we head on toward Friday. Again, decent day, cool, dry, some early clouds. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s. And for the weekend, as we continue to say, Saturday, the better day of that Father's Day weekend, mid-70s, upper 70s, 50-50 chance of some storms. Monday and Tuesday of next week, warming up. Looks like we'll be hitting the mid-80s on Tuesday, and that trend will continue into Wednesday.
Thanks, Tom. The city of Marquette is filling in some gaps in its sewer system. Contractors for the Marquette Public Works Department are connecting sewer pipes underneath Front and Crescent Streets to replace an outdated sewer that's serving several homes in that area. The current sewer system is made of clay tile and is over a century old. It also runs underneath people's yards, decks, and garages, which an engineer with the city says could make dealing with a failure in the outdated pipe that much harder to deal with.
Sewer fails, we end up with sewer backups. That's a bad situation. It's better to be proactive and to address these problems before they become emergencies.
The city plans to be done blasting sometime next week and have the road drivable again in late July. Some hikers learned more about how to respect trails and local wildlife in Marquette County today. The Marquette County Conservation District Leave No Trace workshop this afternoon in Marquette. 8 hikers explored around Wetmore Pond, enjoying and learning about nature. Participants were shown various tools and tips for the trails and were even provided with shoe brushes to prevent the spread of invasive species. The Marquette County Conservation District Manager says humans have a huge impact on the environment.
Everything from the hiking conditions, if it's too wet and too muddy, you don't want to be using trails that are going to be heavily impacted and rutted out by you going through them during that time, to making sure that you're not contributing to the spread of invasive species on the trail.
Another workshop is coming up on June 25th about water exploration. For dates, times, and where to register, just head to WZMQ19.com. This Friday, Manistee is celebrating the start of a new season with an event for the entire community. The first summer street party of the year will take place downtown from 6:30 to 9:30. Hosted by the Manistee Merchants, Schoolcraft Tourism and Commerce, and Limestone Federal Credit Union. Held in Manistee's Social District, attendees can enjoy drinks, all while listening to live music, playing games, and exploring downtown businesses.
We just love our community and we want to see it grow and thrive, and I think Manistee's really been kicking off some great summer entertainment and fun lately, so we just want to keep the momentum going and keep the excitement downtown and support our local businesses because that's what we are all about at our core.
Manistee has a full schedule of summer events, including Folk Fest in July and another summer street party in August. A team of students at Western Michigan University is putting the final touches on a car built entirely from scratch. But even more impressive, the car is powered by the sun. It's called Sunseeker, and next month a solar car will set off on a cross-country race. Will Haney spent time with the team to get a glimpse at their brand new design.
University teams from across the country finalizing their designs for the upcoming American Solar Challenge.
There's a lot of camaraderie. It's not so competitive and butting heads. Everyone just wants to help each other, and it's cool that we can connect with everyone around the world like that.
This year's all-new design only has 3 wheels.
So we opted to do a bullet car design this year, which is the first time in a while we did that. We are working with a car that is half the weight pretty much, which can mean about double the efficiency. So we're looking forward to pushing that and, you know, having this new exciting vehicle that looks totally different than our last one.
While this year's car isn't ready for a test drive just yet, we did get to see a previous year's model in action.
Most teams will outsource the production of their solar panels, but we actually make them in-house ourselves.
A qualifying track-style race will be held in Kentucky in mid-July. Assuming the team qualifies, Sunseeker will then compete in a race from Nashville to Casper, Wyoming, less than a week later. Recent WMU grad Maggie Wechter will be one of 4 drivers during the upcoming race.
You got to make sure that you're preparing mentally and physically to be in this car for extended periods of time in the heat.
Pushing the limits of solar-powered vehicles requires some endurance in a very snug driver's seat.
You're trying to extend your battery life with what your solar panels are giving you charge-wise. This year we will have a fully enclosed canopy, so it's going to get a lot hotter in here, and it's in July, so it's going to be a lot hotter in general in Tennessee.
Wechter starting her first aerospace engineering job out of college after this last hurrah.
A lot of our team has internships and gets hired because we're involved in something like this. So a lot of companies are like, go do it. Like, that's a crazy opportunity and you should be involved in that.
The last time the team competed in an American Solar Challenge was back in 2018. WMU placed 5th in that race. This year, assuming they qualify, the team is hoping for their first podium finish of about 45 schools participating. Still ahead tonight, a new inflation report shows improvements in some areas, but analysts say prices for most consumers are still too high. That report is next.
Are you looking for a trustworthy publishing company to publish your book?
Covenant Books is an author-friendly publisher who shares your passion and beliefs. Call us today and we'll send you a free author packet to help get you started.
Call the number right now for your free writer's guide.
Here's your WZMQ CBS This is Home Community Calendar. Mark your calendars. The Women's Center of Marquette County and Pack Rats invite you to join the Nifty 250 Fashion Show and Parking Lot Party, Saturday, June 22nd from 1 to 4 p.m. at Pack Rats. There'll be something for everyone, including face painting, balloon twister, snacks, and the fashion show from 2 till 3. There'll also be a raffle for items, including 2 Disney park tickets, a remote car starter, and so much more. This message is brought to you by WZMQ 19, proud sponsor of the Nifty 250.
On the next edition of Comics Unleashed, with your host, Byron Allen, as 5 of the most hilarious comics take it to the edge every night, and nothing is off limits.
That's what I learned in any relationship. Communication is the most important thing. Yeah. The more you can avoid it, the better you'll do. Just avoid it altogether.
Comics Unleashed.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS.
Major Seth Adams, the loudest voice in the West, heard from practically anywhere.
Sounded to me like it come off the Ponderosa. Weekdays at 4 on MeTV 19.1. You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local with Sarah Blakely.
The Federal Reserve announces its latest decision on interest rates as the government releases new data on inflation. Tanya Backus has a look at the numbers.
Some good news at the grocery store. Prices didn't go down, but they did remain steady from April to May. And drivers are getting a break at the pump. AAA says the national average is down about 16 cents a gallon in the last month. Overall, inflation eased to 3.3% in May, down from 3.4% in April.
I think this report is encouraging. We're moving in the right direction. But, at the end of the day, prices are still pretty high. I think that's what's weighing on consumers still.
That includes housing costs. Rent prices shot up nearly 5.5% in the last year. And borrowing money to buy a home remains expensive. 3 years ago, mortgage rates were under 3%. They are now at nearly 7%.
Good afternoon.
A significant drop isn't expected anytime soon. The Federal Reserve decided to once again keep interest rates the same in an attempt to ease rising prices. And the board now says it only plans 1 rate cut sometime this year. Previously, the Fed had considered 3 cuts.
We know that reducing policy restraint too soon or too much could result in a reversal of the progress that we've seen on inflation.
Fed Chairman Jerome Powell says the board wants inflation down to just 2%. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Until the Fed is convinced that there is a long-term trend that is in place, I don't think they're going to be ready to cut rates anytime soon.
Some analysts are predicting a rate cut in September, but others believe it might not happen until the end of the year.
In health news, which is better for losing weight, surgery or medication? Well, surgery is more effective than other weight loss methods, according to a new study by the American Society for Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery. Researchers found diet and exercise typically resulted in a 7% drop in weight, but most people regained that weight after 4 years. Medications like Ozempic resulted in 10 to 21% weight loss, but once treatment stopped, about half the lost weight returned within 1 year. Gastric bypass and other surgeries led to around 30% weight loss, and 25% of that lost was maintained 10 years post-surgery. And people battling obesity are less likely to buy unhealthy foods when prices are raised. A study published found Americans with a higher body mass index were more price sensitive than people who aren't obese when they buy things like cookies and chips. The study's authors say this suggests a tax on junk food could lead to people improving their eating habits. Chances of showers tomorrow, and we will be warm again, but not quite as warm as today. Tom DeVecchio has the outlook on the way next.
Shop hundreds of Lazy Boys at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Kick back in comfort in an industry-leading recliner. Choose from all fabrics, colors, and sizes with prices starting as low as $4.99 plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture in Houghton today.
Are you ready?
It's coming.
I say, are you ready?
The UP State Fair.
Are you ready?
Beginning August 12th.
I say, are you ready?
Be ready for the fun and excitement of the 2024 UP State Fair. Opening night, this year's queen is crowned. Wednesday night, August 14th, it's Tracy Bird in concert. Friday, August 16th is Women's Day and Men's Night. Tickets available at upstatefair.org. WZMQ TV 19, proud to be a reserved champion sponsor of the fair. Be ready for the fair beginning August 12th in Escanaba.
Getting ready, we all have our routine. Finding an outfit. Fixing your hair. And all the other little touches. Gum, check. Keys, check. Phone, check. But of all the things you remember to bring with you, naloxone could be the most important. It can reverse an opioid overdose. You can get it without a prescription in most states, and it's really easy to use. If you or someone you know is at risk for opioid overdose, naloxone could save their life. Keep it on you and at home. For more information about naloxone, visit cdc.gov/stop-overdose.
Who will be there when the final whistle blows or the final votes have been cast? Will you? Start a career in the broadcasting industry. Be there. Go to BeThereMichigan.com.
Let's check out that forecast one more time for Thursday here in Marquette. Can't rule out a few showers here. I'd say 1 in 3 chance at best here. Just some clouds, and temperatures will be into the mid-60s to start out the day. We should see some sunshine at noon. Then during the afternoon, quick hitting wave will move on by. Could be a little potent there, and maybe a gusty storm as it passes on through with some gusty winds. Watch for that, but it will be a quick hitter. And temperatures will be mid, maybe even upper 70s, and then down into the mid 60s as we head toward that 8 o'clock hour. Checking out the rest of the 7-day into Friday, we'll have cooler air. Temperatures will be in the mid 60s. Good chance we'll see some clouds early, then some sunshine breaking out. And 50-50 mix for the weekend. Saturday still looking good, keeping it dry, mid to upper 70s on Sunday with the chance of some showers and storms. Summertime heat kicks in as we head toward the early part of next week.
Finally tonight, a volunteer organization held an event to get seniors out of their homes and enjoying a sweet treat. The Little Brothers Friends of the Elderly got together with a few grandmas and grandpas today to enjoy McDonald's new Grandma McFlurry and chit-chat about the importance of grandparents everywhere. The event was held in celebration of the new dessert treat and a partnership between the organization and McDonald's.
I think it's summertime, we might think of ice cream a little bit more than throughout the rest of the year. And a lot of those memories might be associated with our elder folks and our grandparents. And maybe we got to have more treats or like dessert before dinner at Grandma's house.
Always dessert before dinner at Grandma's house. In honor of the occasion, McDonald's is also making a donation in support of the Little Brothers mission to fight isolation and loneliness in older adults. That's it for today. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Things moms like wine. Sure, Mom Nicole. Are you into that wine?
I've had a lot of wine in my life.
Weekdays at 9 on WZMQ CBS. Tonight,
I am doing hard work. I'm standing, I'm complaining, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
New tonight on CBS.
Then back to this.